Hey, welcome back to Pororo Invest, the channel where we break down money, markets, and wealth building in a way that actually makes sense. Today's topic is one that genuinely kept me up at night when I first discovered it, because here's a number that should make everyone uncomfortable. According to the Federal Reserve's 2023 report, the median household net worth is $192,700, while the top 1% averages over $38 million. That is not a gap. That is a chasm. And the question I want to answer today is, how do you end up on the right side of that equation? Because the answer isn't luck and it isn't inheritance. It comes down to a handful of invisible traps that 90% of people fall into without even realizing it. Before we get into the reasons, I want you to picture something. Imagine two people, Alex and Jordan, same city, same school, same job, earning around $55,000 a year right out of college. By age 55, Alex has built a net worth of over $1.2 million. Jordan is still living paycheck to paycheck. Same starting point, completely different outcomes. And the difference has nothing to do with talent, luck, or even income. It comes down entirely to 5 behavioral differences that compounded quietly over decades. So let's talk about what Jordan got wrong and what Alex did differently. Reason number 1, and this is the foundation of everything. Most people spend their entire working lives trapped in what I call the time for money trap. You show up, you work, you get paid. You show up again, you work again, you get paid again. Day after day, year after year. And the brutal mathematical reality is this: your time is finite. There are only 24 hours in a day. You will always hit a ceiling. The wealthiest people on the planet figured out a completely different game. They deploy their money as a worker that never sleeps, never calls in sick, and never asks for a raise. Instead of selling their time, they build assets that generate revenue without requiring their constant presence. Dividend stocks, rental properties, index funds, businesses. And the numbers are staggering. A $10,000 investment in an S&P 500 index fund in 2013 would be worth over $32,000 today without you doing a single additional thing. That money worked while you slept, while you went on vacation, while you watched Netflix. That is the difference between the 10% and the 90%. Think of your paycheck as fuel, not as the destination. Every dollar is either going into someone else's asset or into your own. The 90% consistently, unknowingly, build everyone else's wealth through rent, subscriptions, and consumer debt. The 10% redirect even a small portion into their own engine. Even 10% of your income, invested consistently, changes the entire trajectory of your financial life. Reason number 2 is invisible, which is exactly what makes it so dangerous. It's called the scarcity mindset. It's essentially a set of deeply held beliefs about money that most people inherited from their environment growing up. Beliefs they never consciously chose. Beliefs like, money is hard to get, rich people are just lucky, investing is only for wealthy people. And here's why this matters. Your beliefs drive your behaviors. If you believe investing is risky, you won't invest. If you believe wealth is for other people, you won't pursue it seriously. If you believe there's never enough to save, you'll find ways to spend everything you earn, almost as if your subconscious is confirming what you already believe. Psychologists call this confirmation bias, and it operates completely below the level of conscious thought. What the wealthy operate from is an abundance mindset, which doesn't mean blindly optimistic or financially reckless. It means they genuinely believe that wealth is buildable, opportunities are real, and their financial decisions today have compounding consequences decades from now. A 2019 study in the Journal of Consumer Research found that people with an abundance mindset were significantly more likely to invest, save, and make long-term financial plans. Regardless of income level, the mindset comes first. The wealth follows. So if you're thinking right now, this is nice, but it's not for people like me, that thought is exactly the trap I'm describing, and recognizing it is the first step to breaking free from it. Reason number 3 is one that genuinely frustrates me every time I think about it. In most countries around the world, financial literacy is simply not taught in school. We spend 12 to 16 years learning calculus, the periodic table, and historical battle dates. All valuable things. But the one subject that governs the quality of your life for the next 40 years gets zero classroom time. A 2022 TIAA Institute report found that Americans with low financial literacy scores were 3 times more likely to carry credit card debt and twice as likely to be financially fragile, and significantly less likely to have any retirement savings at all. 3 times more likely to carry credit card debt. That single statistic should be alarming to everyone. But here's the empowering side. Financial literacy is a learnable skill. Unlike height or IQ, it is entirely in your control. Financial self-education, understanding assets versus liabilities, how compound interest works over 30 years, what a diversified portfolio looks like. None of this requires a finance degree. Understanding these concepts requires curiosity, consistency, and access to the right information. That's literally what this channel exists to provide. And I promise you, every week you spend learning about money as an investment that pays returns for the rest of your life. And that investment starts right here, right now. Reason number 4 is one that almost everyone is guilty of at some point, including people who already know about it. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it works like this. You start your career earning $40,000 a year. You budget tightly. You live simply. Life is fine. Then you get a promotion, $55,000 a year. So you upgrade your apartment because you deserve it. You get a nicer car because the old one was embarrassing. You start eating at better restaurants, buying better clothes. Then another raise, $70,000. And somehow, your bank account looks exactly the same as when you were earning $40,000. Every single dollar of additional income was immediately absorbed by an upgraded lifestyle. This is lifestyle inflation. And research from the American Psychological Association shows that beyond a certain income threshold, increases in spending provide almost no measurable increase in happiness. You're spending more and feeling the same. The wealthy apply what's called the pay raise rule. Every time your income increases, you commit to investing at least 50% of that increase before your lifestyle has a chance to adjust. You still enjoy the raise. You just don't let your expenses grow as fast as your income. Over a 20-year career, this single habit can mean the difference between retiring comfortably at 55 or still grinding at 70, wondering if you can ever stop. It sounds simple because it is simple, but it requires saying no to your present self in favor of your future self. And that is genuinely one of the hardest things a human being can do. And reason number 5, the most costly of all, is waiting. I'll start investing when I have more money. I'll start saving when my debt is paid off. I'll start when things are more stable. I have heard every version of this sentence. I understand the logic behind each one, but the mathematics of compound interest makes this the single most expensive decision you can make. Here is a real example I want you to sit with for a moment. If you invest $200 a month starting at age 22 at an average 8% annual return, you will have approximately $702,000 by age 62. If you wait until age 32 to start, that same $200 a month at the same return gives you just $298,000 by age 62. You waited 10 years. It cost you $404,000. 10 years of waiting cost you more than the entire amount you actually invested across both scenarios combined. That is the ruthless, unforgiving, completely indifferent mathematics of compound interest. And the market doesn't care about your reasons. It only rewards the people who showed up. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now let's talk about what you actually do about it. Because knowledge without action is just entertainment. Move 1, automate your investing before lifestyle gets to the money. Set up an automatic transfer to your investment account on the same day as your paycheck. Even $50, even $100. The amount matters less than the habit, because habits scale as your income grows. Even the smallest consistent contribution, started today, is worth more than a larger contribution started 5 years from now. Move 2, aggressively eliminate high-interest consumer debt. Credit card interest rates in the U.S. averaged 22.8% in 2023, the highest in 4 decades. You cannot outinvest 22% interest. That has to be your first financial war to win. You cannot build a foundation while hemorrhaging money to high-interest debt every single month. Move 3. Build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund before you invest heavily. This isn't exciting. It won't make you rich, but it is the foundation that prevents one bad month from destroying years of financial progress. Without this buffer, every unexpected expense, medical bill, car repair, job loss, forces you to raid your investments at exactly the wrong moment. Move 4. Invest in broadly diversified, low-cost index funds. A simple 3-fund portfolio, total U.S. market, international bonds, has outperformed the vast majority of actively managed funds over every 20-year period in recorded market history. You don't need to be clever. You need to be consistent. And move 5. Invest in your own financial education permanently. Read one personal finance book every 2 months. Understand what you own and why you own it. Follow credible, evidence-based content. Build your knowledge base the same way you build your portfolio, consistently over time. Because every dollar of knowledge you acquire multiplies every dollar you invest. So here's what I want you to take away from today. The 90% aren't failing because they're irresponsible or unintelligent. They're failing because they're running a race they were never taught the rules of. They're stuck trading time for money with no exit ramp. They're held back by a scarcity mindset they inherited, not chose. They were never given financial literacy as a foundation. They let lifestyle quietly absorb every raise. And they kept waiting for a perfect moment that compound interest simply cannot afford. But now you know. And knowing is the beginning of the most important financial journey you will ever take. And every single one of those 5 traps is fixable, starting today. Drop a comment below. Tell me which of these 5 reasons resonated the most with you. I read every single one, and I genuinely want to know. If this video gave you value, share it with one person in your life who needs to hear it. Subscribe for a new video every week. No fluff, no gimmicks, just clear money insights you can actually use. This is Pororo Invest, smart money for every level. See you in the next one.